Okay. Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome to my very first Toon Talk for 2024. And this is going to be a bit of an interesting video for a lot of different reasons. For one thing, I have this new mic set up right over here. I have that. The second thing is that my good tripod broke, so I'm using this shitty one. And if this looks a little weird, that's the reason. And the third thing is that I have quite the story to tell you. But I'll get into that later. But for now, I want to focus on what I did at the end of last year and a little bit at the beginning of this year. But before I do that, I want to talk to you about what I've got. So I took all of January off from making any type of content. Because, I'd just gotten back from vacation and Christmas was going on. And not to mention I got sick halfway through the month. And when the new year starts, nobody really feels like doing shit. You set up the things you want to do that year, but you don't actually do it. You know what I mean? Like, if you start something in January, you're never going to get that finished. So, I didn't really do anything in January in terms of, posting stuff I made. I did work on stuff. Don't get me wrong. Most notably this video, but also some other things. But, the thing is, I'm going to be making some videos throughout the year. And you guys are going to like them. And I don't care how good they are. You're going to fucking like them. Today, I want to tell you about my vacation I took in December to Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando. Because it's kind of animation related. Basically, I'm going to tell you all the big stuff that happens, all the rides and shows we saw, and just all the general highlights of the trip, and some of the weird inconveniences that happened along the way. Because, oh my god, did this shit get wild. But before we get into that, I want to quickly go over some ground rules real quick. I'm going to be reviewing every single ride and show we got on. But I'm only going to be doing the ones that have zero connections to animation. So they can't be based on any animated movie or TV show. Because I might review those rides in the future. So if it's an original ride or it's based on a live action movie or show, it's fair game. Anything else, we'll talk about it later. So with all that said and done, let's quickly talk about... So we were leaving for this trip on December 26th, the day after Christmas, which already was going to be pretty hectic because, Christmas was the day prior. But I knew that things weren't going to be so well when I woke up that morning and my stomach was hurting. Like, really freaking badly. I caught a stomach bug that was going around my neighborhood. Luckily, it only lasted a single day. This bug was known to last 24 hours. I believe my dad had it a couple weeks ago. He got better after a day. So I was like, okay, I'll suffer through this day. I'll just sleep unless I absolutely have to get stuff. And then I can just sleep on the plane right there. So as my family was doing their last minute packing and as I was getting some rest, something happened. So for context, I live right next door to my grandparents, and in between our two houses, there's this little hill. And my mom actually went over to our grandparents' house to fetch something. And for additional context, it was muddy. My mom went there to grab something. She came back. She slipped on some mud. And rather than just, doing a little Three Stooges slip and to get right back up again, she actually ended up tumbling down the hill and got serious nerve damage in her hands and straight up could not move. She made it back in the house screaming in terror and in pain. My dad walked over there. My grandparents walked over to her. We were all,
oh my god, she is seriously hurt.
And me and my sister were just talking about it, be like,
shit, now what? Do we have to cancel the trip? Are we gonna have to postpone it? Like, what's going on? Is she able to come?
eventually, what was ultimately made is that my dad would take me and my sister to the airport, drop us off, we would get on the plane, while our dad would go ahead and head back to the hospital with our mom. Because there was no way in hell she was going to be flying in her condition. And yeah, that was kind of just living in our brains for like the rest of the flight. And the rest of the day. Not to mention, I was also feeling pretty bad because my tummy hurt and I couldn't eat anything except for Frosties. Damn, I got a Frosty from Wendy's and I tore that shit up. We got to our hotel room at this place. I forgot exactly what it was, so this is where we stayed for our Disney World vacation. We actually stayed at the Disney World Resort at this place. I genuinely do not remember where the fuck we were staying. Keep in mind, this was a month ago as I'm filming this.
Which was no joke, the cheapest resort we could find that had character-themed rooms.
Hello.
We started our afternoon by taking the bus to Hollywood Studios so that we can go on the Skyliner to the Art of Animation Resort. And may I say, the Skyliner looked absolutely beautiful. Getting to look at the resort from up in the sky, it just looked so cool. And we even got to see a little bit of Spaceship Earth. That was such a fun experience, and it wasn't even an official ride. When we arrived to Art of Animation, we mainly just hung out and looked at all the different type of sculptures that they had around. Most namely this guy. But the main reason we showed up here was so I could look at all the concept art that they had on the walls, and so that my sister could look at all the different Cars statues. Yes, that is the entire reason we showed up here.
I pissed my pants, the toilet was just too far.
Afterwards, we went to Disney Springs where we got lunch at a place which is literally just Rainforest Cafe, but with dinosaurs. Guess you could say I was a little shook. After that, we just sort of screwed around Disney Springs and just had a nice, relaxing day, which we definitely needed after our hectic way of getting here the previous day. We went back to our room at 6 o'clock. We ordered a pizza, which was edible, and we went to bed. It may not snow in Florida, but god damn it, is there a lot of rain. Okay, enough of this shopping crap. It's time for the good stuff. The reason we're here to begin with. The theme parks. Universal Studios Orlando. We started off our day by walking through City Walk, which is how everyone starts their Universal day, so that sentence was redundant. Hold on. I gotta get the money shot of the globe. Look at that! Once we got into the park, our first ride was the Minions ride. No, not that one, the other one. VillainCon Minion Blast is the latest Despicable Me ride that is based off of the most recent Minions film, and it's basically a standing shooter, nothing to write home about. We then made our way to the Jimmy Fallon ride!
Imagine walking up to somebody and asking them with a straight face, "Hey, you want to go on the Jimmy Fallon ride?" Like, seriously, why the fuck did Universal even build a Jimmy Fallon ride? Honestly. Is it to preserve the memory and the legacy of The Tonight Show? Because it's been a huge part of NBC since the 50s. And presumably, once Fallon stops hosting The Tonight Show, they're just going to keep updating this ride with whoever it's hosting. Kind of like that old Wiggles ride that used to exist that nobody liked. But the point is, how's the ride itself?
Yeah, we only went on this ride because the wait was short. But hey, the queue was pretty cool, made to look like the NBC studios with a bunch of NBC and Tonight Show history up on the walls. The premise of the ride is that you're in the audience of an episode of The Tonight Show, and Jimmy is taking you on a massive race through New York City in a very special vehicle. Once we get on the ride itself, we see that it's just another friggin' simulator, which we're gonna see a lot of in this park. Jimmy races us, the audience, all through New York City, seeing many different familiar Tonight Show characters in the background. As motion simulators go, I'd say this is a pretty fun one. Yeah, it doesn't do anything different compared to anything else in the park, but it's still a fun little thrill ride that has made me smile more than literally any episode of Jimmy Fallon, so it's got that going for it. Hey, speaking of good rides based on source materials that kinda suck, our next ride was the Transformers ride.
So hard on a guy. How else is he?
After Transformers, we just walked around the park a little bit. We just enjoyed the Hollywood atmosphere. We just had a gay old time. We were having fun, Ah yes, coming soon. About 7 years ago. Jaws? Ah yes, we paid respect to the ride I've never been on before we eventually made our ways to... Dear God, no. I've heard so many bad things about this ride. I can't be on this ride. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go. Getting on the ride. Yay. So yes, we went on Fast and Furious Supercharged. And yeah, this ride, it's not very good. The queue just had a bunch of cars and a warehouse. It was completely uninteresting. And the ride itself, it's not even that it's a generic simulator, it's that it's an unthrilling simulator that doesn't do anything new with the genre, and it's not even fun. It doesn't shake you around in a way that feels exciting or thrilling in any sort of way. The effects are terrible. It's easily the worst ride in the park that doesn't have anything to do with the Minions.
And you're welcome to join our crew anytime.
No thanks. So yeah, I wasn't too thrilled with Fast and Furious Supercharged, but luckily this ride based on a film franchise I haven't seen yet was 10 times better. After Men in Black, we grabbed a quick bite to eat before we eventually made it to our next ride, which was the Simpsons ride. After the Simpsons ride, we killed some time around Springfield. We got to see the DeLorean and train from the Back to the Future movies, which Back to the Future is my favorite film of all time, and I love every film in that franchise. So getting to see these vehicles in person was honestly one of the biggest highlights of the trip. I love that so much. And we also killed some more time by going into a store to see some old friends. Okay, so I just need a little moment to breathe. And there seems to be a nice quiet little rave area. And hey, Gary's here. What's up, Gary? What you doing out here? What you doing away from home? Get off of me, bitch. Gary, what's wrong? I said boom. All right. We're killing time in Kids Zone. Wait a minute. So I was unaware of this, but I did some research, and yeah, DreamWorks has shut down Woody Woodpecker's Kids Zone and will be replacing it with a DreamWorks area, with rides be based off of Shrek, Kung Fu Panda, Trolls, properties that Universal owns and kids actually still like, and not stuff like Woody Woodpecker and Barney. I can't really say that I'm going to miss Woody Woodpecker's Kids Zone, because literally the only things there of note were the E.T. Adventure, the Animal Actors Show, and the SpongeBob store. And all three of those things are still going to exist, just in their own little area, in between Springfield and in between the DreamWorks area. So, I'd say good riddance. Like, get rid of those, shitty little kiddie coasters based on stuff that kids aren't really into anymore, and bring forth some probably new, enjoyable little kiddie rides that kids are into and will be into for a while, because DreamWorks have proved themselves to be a marketable brand for decades. I don't really see the DreamWorks area going away anytime soon. You do not show Megamind and not give me Megamind. We then saw the horror makeup show, but the showings were done for the day. So we just went in the show's gift shop and screwed around for a little bit and waited for our parents to get there because, the accident happened. Hey look, it's the Christmas parade! Yay! Okay, it wasn't the parade, it was a little dance, but we did see the parade afterwards. I just don't have footage of it. The dance was neat though. After the dance, we went on Revenge of the Mummy, which is the only ride in the entire resort that is based on the Universal Monsters. And even then, it's based off the remake of a Universal Monster. That still doesn't change the fact that this ride is awesome. It's actually pretty unique that it doesn't take place within the universe of the movies, but is actually in a meta-universe where they're shooting one of the Mummy movies, but a mummy curse just so happens to be happening while they're shooting it. And it gets really interesting. And the ride itself is freaking awesome. It's a cool indoor roller coaster in the dark with actual fire and a bunch of cool mummy stuff, and you go backwards, man. Plus, Brendan Fraser dies, which was really funny 15 years ago, but is now just sad. Afterwards, we went to Diagon Alley, and easily our worst wait of the entire trip, Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. Now, don't get me wrong, this ride was absolutely amazing. But the line was 2 hours long, and for an hour and a half, we were just waiting in the boring field that was outside of the main show building, and it took forever, and we had to put all of our stuff in the lockers, which we didn't even have anything to entertain ourselves with. And it just took forever, and by the time we actually got on the ride, yes, it was a really great ride, combining both dark rides and roller coasters into something that's completely unlike anything that came before it, even the previous Harry Potter ride. I do think that this ride is a fantastic ride, but I do not think it's worth waiting 2 hours for. Forbidden Journey, I'll get on that ride anytime. Like, that ride is worth waiting 2 hours for because it is literally unlike anything else. This, on the other hand, while it is fantastic, I would recommend you wait for it at most an hour and a half, because 2 hours is just too dang long for me, and it took up the grand majority of our evening. After that, we walked around Diagon Alley for a bit, enjoying the atmosphere, before we went to our final ride of the night, the E.T. Adventure, which, fun fact, is the only ride at this entire park from opening day. The ride's basically just a typical dark ride that follows the plot of the movie, where you gotta get E.T. back to his home planet. And I know I made it sound like a simple dark ride, but in many respects, it is, but to me, this ride is much more than just a simple dark ride. Riding this again for the first time in 6 years definitely gave me a sense of warmth, wonder, and magic that I just haven't felt since I was a child. You know, I was enjoying the ride fine at this point. The ride vehicle felt neat, the woods looked pretty cool, but then this scene showed up. I know it doesn't necessarily look the best with this footage, but trust me, in person, this was absolutely beautiful. Specifically just seeing those night skies up close, in person. It was beautiful, and I almost cried a little bit. And even though this isn't the most thrilling or technically advanced ride at the resort, I couldn't think of a better ride to end my first day, and from now on, every time I go to Universal Orlando, I have to make E.T. be the final ride I go on, just to end my day on a beautiful, triumphant note. That I'll be back again, and every time, my inner child will still reign supreme. So, I am in McDonald's right now. This is a little crazy. We ended our night by going to the world's largest McDonald's, and it was a pretty cool experience. I mean, one of the McDonald's had freaking pasta. It gave me food poisoning, but it was still pretty good. They also had a second story, so naturally, I ran up there as fast as I could only to find that they had not only a pretty decent looking play place, but an arcade as well. What the frick? And they had an elevator which could go downstairs. So, yeah. I'd say this was a pretty cool McDonald's and a neat little way to end the day. Does your McDonald's have an elevator? No, it doesn't. Stop lying. And with that said and done, that will be the end of part 1 of this saga. Yeah, I didn't really plan for this to be multiple videos. I initially wanted this to just be one video, but it took me a month just to get through one park. I'm gonna cut this in multiple videos, okay? Like, come on, guys. I'm tired. I want to make other videos this year. I don't want to turn into quitting reviews and make like 3 videos a year. All right? I want to do other shit. This is going to be a series now in Toon Talk. So if you want to see me talk about Universal Islands of Adventures in part 2 and presumably also Epcot, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit all notifications so that you're notified on when that eventually happens. Until then, I will see you later. Bye!